What's up, guys? We are back again with another video, and today we have the AFC South season predictions. Starting off with the number one team in the AFC South, at least that I predict will be the number one team in the AFC South, the Indianapolis Colts, and this mostly all depends on how Carson Wentz does, how much better he plays in Indianapolis than he did outside of Indianapolis, but of course, we will see. Here in week one, I have the Colts losing to the Seahawks. Seahawks. I think the Colts definitely won't be ready by week one. I think the Seahawks are ultimately close to a better football team, especially during the regular season, especially earlier in the season. Week two, I have the Colts beating the Rams. I just have a feeling they're going to win there. Then they'll lose on the road against the Titans, divisional opponent. A lot of the times they like to split the series together, and they have really hard fought battles, especially for the division. So I had them winning one there. We have the Colts beating the Dolphins, which is pretty good because the Dolphins I'm pretty high on this year. So them beating the Dolphins should be a compliment. Then I have them going at home and losing to the Ravens. Ravens are a really good football team, and it's still the beginning of the football year. I don't think the Colts are going to start cooking until towards the end of the season, which they're kind of getting close to, where they're going to start cooking. They'll beat the Texans, which are a divisional opponent, so I think they'll easily be able to win that one. Texans are not going to be very good, and the Colts, like I said, are. Then the Niners will beat the Colts. I think it could possibly be a close matchup, but I think the Niners are a better football team. Then they'll go into week 8, and this is where they start. This is where they start a 3-game win streak. So ultimately, start their really good win streak, and this is where they're going to get a lot of their wins. They'll beat the Titans at home. It's a divisional opponent, so that's why I kind of see them winning it. And then they'll beat the Jets and the Jaguars to end the 3-game win streak, and then they'll go to Buffalo to lose to the Bills, and that will be their last loss of the season as they beat the Buccaneers. Kind of an upset, kind of not. Beat the Texans, go into their bye week, get off their bye week, beat the Patriots, Cardinals, Raiders, Jaguars to end off the season. And there's really the only teams. I think the Cardinals could beat the Colts, and there could be a huge upset for like the Raiders or the Patriots, but I just don't see it happening. And I predict the Colts to go 12-5, winning a lot of the games towards the end of the season, especially going undefeated after the bye week, of course, going into the playoffs. Um, I have the Colts at 12-5, 5-1 divisional, 9-3 conference, 8-1 at home, 4-4 away, 4-5 losing, 8-0. 4-5 winning versus winning, 8-0 versus losing. Like I said, Colts are going to take a huge step up maybe not a huge step up, but going to take a step up. They're going to be really good, especially if Carson Wentz, like I predict, will play really good with Frank Wright. It could not happen, and I could be completely wrong, and it'll be kind of like last year, but this would still be a pretty good prediction from last year, which I really don't think they downgraded at the quarterback position at all. I don't think Philip Rivers was very good in his final years, especially the one with Indianapolis. So I really think that this is a really realistic and most likely going to happen record. Maybe a few games off, but I feel like this is what's going to happen. Now let's go to the second team in the AFC West, right? No, this is AFC South. I don't know why I just completely got it wrong there. The Tennessee Titans, I think they're going to take a step back from last year just because they lost a lot of talent, especially on the offensive side, in Jonnu Smith and Corey Davis, and they didn't really add to it. They did add defensive players, so I'll give them that. But I think they're going to take a step back this year, so let's take it. Week 1, Titans will beat the Cardinals. I think they're close, similar in skill level. I think the Titans are a little bit better, especially. Yeah, I just think they're a little better, so I got the Titans winning there. Week 2, I got them losing to Seattle. I think Seattle is a better football team. Week 3, they'll be able to beat the Colts, and then a divisional opponent at home, and then they'll go on this, which will start the 3-game win streak of them beating the Jets and the Jaguars. 2 rookie quarterbacks, not very good teams, are the number 1 and number 2 picks in the draft this last year, so of course they're not going to be very good. And then They lose to the Bills, Chiefs, Colts, all who are really good football teams. Colts are the only one that I could really see them like really beating or winning, like really close matchup and barely losing or winning is against the Colts because they're divisional opponents. But that's why I have the Colts winning at home. Bills and Chiefs, I think, are just a better football team all around than the Titans are. Then the Titans will also lose to the Rams in Los Angeles, of course. Rams are slightly better in my opinion. Um, then they'll go at home and they'll beat the Saints, which the Saints took a step back. They'll beat the Texans. Texans are bad, and they'll beat the Patriots, which the Patriots could win, but I don't think they will. I think the Patriots aren't going to be as good as some people think they are. I still think they have a hole at the quarterback position, which I probably keep bringing up in every single one of these videos that I talk about my predictions. Then they'll go into the bye week, come off the bye week, beat the Jaguars, and beat the Steelers. Steelers have a shot, but I think the Titans are just a better football team all around. Um, and they'll go into the Week 16 where they'll lose to the Niners, which the Niners are a really good football team, and lose to the Dolphins, who are also a really good football team. And they'll end the season off beating the Texans to finish the season at a 10-7 record, 5-1 in the division, 8-4 in the conference, 5-4 at home, 5-3 away, 2-7 versus winning, 8-0 versus losing, second in their respective division. I think I don't know. I think Texans could surprise. I mean, Texans. The Titans could surprise us and do better, but most of these they have a pretty tough schedule. Like all of their wins are really good football teams. I mean, all of their 7 losses are good football teams, and they have good football teams that they even beat too. That I could see them like. There's like reality. They could be so much worse if they had an easier schedule. I would think easy playoff team, but with this schedule, I could see them missing the playoffs. I used to see some videos of like other people, and they would make like teams that made the playoffs last year that might not make it this year. That they predict at least, and teams from last year that didn't make it to playoffs and might make it, and they'd always put the Titans and some other teams, but mostly the Titans. And I would always think, nah, that's not happening. But when I really put thought into it, and I looked at the schedule, they're right. They're absolutely right. This team might not make the playoffs. Just saying. I hadn't predicted as for making the playoffs, of course, but there's definitely a chance that they don't make the playoffs with this schedule. And then the third team in the division, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they will be on the road, beat the Texans. I mean, yeah, why not? They usually do that. The Broncos will beat the Jaguars, and they'll lose to the Cardinals, and they'll beat the Bengals, which that that's their last win. They win 1-4, and they don't win for such a long time. They go on a huge losing streak. They go on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, a 10-game losing streak, and that's 11 weeks, including the bye week. So after that, they lose to the Titans. Titans are a better football team. Dolphins are a better football team. Go into the bye week, come out, and they lose to the Seahawks, Bills, Colts, Niners, Falcons, Rams, Titans, Texans. Only game that really I could see them winning is maybe the Colts game, just because they like to upset the Colts a lot, and uh, maybe beating the Texans right there before, of course, the Week 16 win against the Jets. But other than that, they're really gonna struggle this season a lot, and they're gonna be a high pick, I think. Cause I mean, like, I really don't think enough changed for this team to really do that much. And of course, they could win a couple. Like, I think here against the Broncos, they could easily turn it and win. Um, Here against the Falcons, they could turn it and win. They could beat the Texans. They could beat the Patriots. But that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 wins. So that'd be 7-10. And they still wouldn't make the playoffs. So, like, reality, they still need, with a difficult schedule, and they still need to upgrade this team, and they also need to develop Trevor Lawrence. This year just isn't their year for them. Next year, maybe, if they can develop him and get the roster better. But this year, they are not going to be a very good football team. And they're 3-14, of course, as their record. 1-5 divisional game, 3-9 conference. 0-9 at home, 3-5 away, 0-9 versus winning, 3-5 versus losing. This, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen a whole lot of predictions for the Jaguars, but I really don't think very many people are going to be impressed by them anyway. And the worst team in this AFC South will be the Houston Texans. One being, so week one they'll lose to the Jaguars, which are a little bit better team than them. Then they'll lose to the Browns, lose to the Panthers, lose to the Bills, lose to the Patriots, lose to the Colts, lose to the Cardinals, lose to the Rams, lose to the Dolphins, lose to the Titans, and then they finally get their first win against the Texans. Their first win of the year in week 12. They lose 10 straight games before they get their first win of the season. And there's only 3 games that I could see them even having a shot in. I mean, of course they have a shot in every game, but there's not very many games I see them winning there. And they'll lose to the Colts, lose to the Seahawks, beat the Jaguars, lose to the Chargers, lose to the Niners, and lose to the Titans. I really don't think I need to put much thought into this. They're really going to be bad, especially if even if Deshaun Watson plays or not. If Deshaun Watson plays, I think they definitely have a better opportunity in games like this game, the Jaguars game, the Panthers game, the Patriots loss, maybe even the Dolphins, maybe even against the Cardinals. I mean, uh, other than that, though, they're really gonna struggle this year, and they're gonna be one of the worst teams in the league, with or without Deshaun Watson. I don't know. I don't know if Deshaun Watson doesn't want to play there anyway, so he might sit out, or he might be sitting in jail from his accusations. I don't know what's happening there, but that's how it's sitting right now. Currently, 2-15 record, 1-5 in the division, 2-10 against AFC teams, 1-8 at home, 1-7 on the road, 0-11 against winning, 2-4 against losing. Again, tough. The AFC South has tough schedules, in my opinion, for these teams. Anyway, though, guys, this will end this video today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Comment down below things you might disagree with. Until next time.